Did you know cruelty towards animals can come in many different forms? It isn't just physical violence like hitting, maiming, poisoning, pouring hot water, throwing sticks and stones, or chopping an animal's ear off. Cruelty is also when you don't provide food and water for them every single day and a safe space to rest. Cruelty is not giving your pet love and affection. And cruelty is having your pets tied up on a chain 24/7. Did you know there are 5 main freedoms of animal welfare? They are to live in a suitable environment, to eat a suitable diet, to exhibit normal behavior patterns, to be housed with or apart from other animals, and to be protected from pain, suffering, injury, and disease.
So if you're a pet owner, ask yourself, are you meeting these 5 key freedoms? Now, if you're unsure, tonight's episode will help you understand that a little more. And who better to explain that than Dr. Joe at the Fiji SPCA? Let's go. Come on. There we go. Did you know there's actually a correct way to pick up a puppy? Yeah. Let's go find out more from Dr. Joe.
We get people coming and we see them all the time carrying their puppies and their dogs like this upside down. And you can see this puppy is kind of uncomfortable, and generally they are. Some are okay, but most of them, they don't like that. It's like a turtle on the beach upside down. They don't have any control and they're a bit nervous about it. So when you hold your puppy, you put your puppy under your arm. So there's his back legs and you've got your elbow there and your hand comes underneath his chest. Here's his ribs in his chest and between the front of his chest. And now you look at him, he's a little more relaxed and he's a little happier. He's kind of a nervous puppy right now anyway. He's not sure what we're doing, but that's how you carry them. Then your other hand is free to open the door and do other things you need to do, and you don't have both your hands occupied. That's good for kids to know, particularly. So one hand underneath the tummy there, right in front of the back legs, and your hand coming right on underneath his chest. Okay, is that better? Yes, that's better.
So Dr. Joe, who's originally from Canada, hi buddy, you wanna let me in? Hi. Well, she's been with the Fiji SPCA for going into her 3rd year now, but she's been a vet for over 10 years. Come on, bub, come on, you go inside, come on. And we first met her in season 1 of the show. So we're excited to see her again, but this time to find out what the role of SPCA is. So, who are they? Let's find out. Here, buddy. Here, buddy. Oh, the ball too big for you, huh? Too big for you, huh?
SPCA stands for Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. That's what it stands for. And all over the world, SPCA is an organization of people who care for animals that are unwanted, uncared for, stray, abandoned. That's essentially what they do, and that's what we do here too. The purpose has sort of evolved over time. This place opened up in 1953. That's a long time ago and a lot has changed, but essentially it's the same thing, to teach people how to look after their animals and to do the best we can to help with all the stray, abandoned, unwanted animals. And when I first came to the SPCA, when I first came to Fiji about 10 years ago, it was quite different. We didn't have it so full of animals on a constant basis. We had fewer kennels to put animals in. Now as time has gone on, we're getting less and less green space there and more kennels, and not very nice kennels if they have to stay there for a long period of time. We want people to spay and neuter their dogs and cats. They need to stop reproducing, because that is just providing the huge overpopulations of animals that are out there on the streets and unwanted, uncared for. Today we've had 3 boxes, one of kittens and 2 of puppies. just today, three cartons with those. Where's the mother? We always ask people, please bring the mother in, because at least we can spay her, but then she's not making more, because pretty soon there's another box, and then all the rest of them start producing. And you just did a little tour out there, and you see the place is absolutely full. We hardly have any room. Any others that come in are going to get swished in, and then you start getting diseases, and then you start getting fights and all kinds of problems. So that's one thing. Temporary shelter. Get your animals spayed and neutered, and of course the clinic here provides help for people who need medical care, however we can provide it, and also it helps medical care for the shelter animals as well. So I think those are the three main purposes of SPCA, and it's going to evolve. The laws need to kind of catch up with the 21st century before we're the 22nd century and things like that.
Our recent visit to the SPCA had us stunned. The shelter was overrun with stray and surrendered animals. They had gone above and beyond capacity to cater to every single animal that came into the shelter. The staff were working in overdrive, trying to make sure that the best possible care was given to every single animal that came in here. And recently there's been a lot of questions raised on social media about the fate of surrendered animals that come into the SPCA. So we asked Dr. Joe to help us understand the process of what happens once you surrender your pet or even a stray animal here at the SPCA.
So lots of animals out on the street. We see that all the time, every day. And like I was mentioning earlier about the boxes of puppies and whatnot. So we get these animals that are in the shelter right now. We get them from various places. Some people, especially now, have left the country. They've had a chance to go back to Australia or to the US or wherever, and they've had this animal for some period of time, and all of a sudden they don't have a place for it. And we're sort of the place of last resort. Somebody's leaving the country, it's either bring it here, find somebody who will look after it, or just dump it on the street. Sadly, some just abandon them there on the street. So we get people sometimes, we call surrendering their animals, so they come in, bring those animals in. Sometimes they find them as strays on the street and they can't look after them. Their landlord doesn't allow 10 dogs or even one, or for whatever reason, so they come in. When they surrender them here to the SPCA now takes over the care of those animals. And the vast majority of times we get rid of their parasites, we deflea, detick, bath them, feed them, get them their surgery so that they can't reproduce, and find them a home. So that's the vast majority of the dogs that come in are surrendered. The other dogs are owned. So people who own dogs come in and usually use the surgery services or the clinic services. So two separate entities in one space.
We've probably been told that water should not go into a dog's ear, right? So, is this statement true or false?
Let's go find out if water can go into a dog's ears. Dr. Joe, can you help us out with that? Can it go into a dog's ears?
Sure, and it does when they go swimming. They get water in their ears all the time when they go swimming, and it's far better to get nice clean water and a bit of soap in their ears than to have dirt, earwax, bacteria, and all the nasty stuff that's out there. That's far better for it to get nice clean water and then rinse its ears out.
So when we're giving them a bath, it's not a problem if a little bit of water goes in there.
Put some water in there, because clean it out. They need, I think the kids get told by their moms all the time, get your ears cleaned.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same thing with the puppies. Yeah, we get their ears cleaned out.
Okay. So, myth busted. Water can, in fact, go into a dog's ears. Oh, you got precious ears. Now, coming up next, licensing your dogs. Is it necessary, and how do we go about it? Hi, are you lost? Oh, are you lost, girl? Let me see you. Oh, you've got a tag. Oh, you've got a number on the tag. Hold on. Hello? Hi, yes, are you missing a dog? Yeah, okay, I've come across her. I got your number from her tag. Would you like to pick her up from the SPCA? I can take her down there. Okay, wonderful. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye. Well, it's a good thing little girl here had her tag, huh? Get your dog's license. You can get the personalized details engraved at the back, and they can be found if they're ever lost. Good girl. You're a good girl. Yeah, you are.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to basically speak about the dog licensing. So dog tags, as you can see, this one. So it's available at SPCA. You can purchase it from SPCA and all the Ministry of Agriculture offices and stations. Licensing is important as per Dog Act. Every dog which is 6 months and over needs to be licensed. It's also helpful because all the tags have different numbers on it, and by any chance if your dog goes missing, and if somebody finds it with a tag, they should be able to track it back to you, because normally when you get a tag they take all your personal details. So if by any chance your dog gets trapped or it goes missing and somebody finds it with a tag, they'll be able to get in touch with you. SPCA also engraves the license, so they can put your personal details like the dog's name on it at the back and the phone number. So again, as the dog goes missing, they should be able to get hold of you. For $13.50 you can get it from SPCA.
Did you do this? Why is everything in black and white? Is this what dogs see? We need to go and talk to Dr. Joe and find out.
The common theory has been that dogs can only see in black and white, but recent studies have shown that theory could in fact be a myth.
Dr. Joe, something's happened. I don't know if it's my eyes or if it's the whole world, but everything's in black and white. Is this what dogs see in black and white?
No, we don't think that now. They used to think that. A long time ago, can't remember his name, he told the world that dogs saw in black and white. Interesting how those stories get spread around. And everybody for a long, long time believed that dogs only saw black and white. But science looks at the eyes of the dog and looks at the structure and anatomy of the dog and looks at our eyes, and we know the colors that we see. They see the structures that are in the dog's eyes, and they know now that they see plenty of colors like this color right here. Perhaps not the blue, but the green. So the dog would probably see the green. This puppy would see the green dog. You can see the green if we cared. So not as many colors as we see, but they certainly see more than black and white.
Wow, good to know. Joe, all of a sudden, my eyes are back to normal.
Another myth busted. Turns out dogs can in fact see a decent amount of colors.
Well, one thing is for sure, that even if they couldn't see all the colors, they most definitely see love, and that's all they have in their eyes, love. And that's enough for me. Well, it's time now for our pet meet and greet on the street, and we ran into Archie and his human Tomasi at the seawall in Suva.
Tomasi, tell me about your dog here.
This is Archie. He's 6 years old now. I don't know how many the dog is. He's a German Shepherd with Rottweiler.
So tell me a little bit about Archie's personality. What's he like?
Oh, he's very playful. He's very cheeky. He's very good around children. Doesn't even. He looks. A lot of people think he bites and stuff, but no, he's actually really playful and doesn't tend to bite people.
Okay. So I saw you today taking him to the seawater. What was the reason for that?
As you can see, he's got Mange. So we took him to the vet, and they said to bring him to the sea so we can get rid of these things here on his skin, as you can see. So hopefully it works out. So if it doesn't improve, probably take him to SPCA. Get checked.
Archie's angry from dogs. When he sees a dog, he's angry.
Aww.
Yeah, when he ran away, he fight at him and barked.
Before, one thing I noticed is that people are starting to change now. Before we used to kick dogs around the neighborhood and stuff.
Yeah.
But now we see that we need to look after them a bit more. So yeah, we need to look after our pets properly. Because our man's best friend, or what do you call it? So yeah.
Now, mange is an extremely common sight here in Fiji, and there are multiple reasons for it, but I'll let the professionals break it down for us.
Mange, it refers to a specific disease, and it also is used by everyone to say, you know, that mangy dog. That's a common term, and it just means a dog that has skin disease. It doesn't have hair, it looks red like it's been out in the sun too long, and it's itchy, itchy, itchy. That's generally what you see with these dogs. They don't all have mange. Some of them have allergic skin disease or some other issues going on. But mange itself, the disease, if you look up in the dermatology books, is caused by skin mites. And skin mites are those little critters that live in the skin. And here in Fiji we have 2 common ones for dogs, and we also find one periodically in cats as well. Cats don't tend to have the nakedness that the dogs do, but they have crustiness around their ears and then other scabby, scaly lesions that you can feel when you pat them. And they tend to be a little more discreet than the dogs do. The dogs are just whoosh, the hair goes, and they're really, really itchy and they're red. And then they get other diseases on top of that, skin disease like infections from bacteria and fungal issues and injuries to their skin because they don't have it protected. The mites live in the skin. Sarcoptes mange mites are one, and it makes the dogs really, really itchy. Demodex mange mites also live in the skin, but they tend not to, at least at first or by themselves, make the dogs really itchy. Sarcoptic mange, we can find both of them on skin scrapes if we look enough. So you bring your dog, you can do skin scrapes and oftentimes find them. Sometimes it takes lots and lots of skin scrapes, and sometimes the dogs aren't keen on putting up with that. Frequently when they come in for spaying or neutering, we'll do that because they're under anesthesia and it's easier to do a lot of scrapes and find them. But you see these little creepy crawly things under the microscope. And then you have that diagnosis, and then there's a variety of treatments to use for it. The Sarcoptes makes the dogs really itchy. It's very contagious dog to dog. And the street dogs in particular will go along the footpaths and roll. They're itchy and they'll roll. And this is the problem we have overseas when we have dogs like coyotes and other wild animals like that. And they'll roll and rub up against trees. And then our dogs will go out there for a little walk and they'll come right behind them and roll and they'll pick up those mites. And that's oftentimes how our dogs overseas get it. Here, it's very contagious, so one dog has it and it quickly spreads from dog to dog. But it can spread in the same way, so if you take your dog for a walk down the street, like more and more people are doing, that's great, and your dog rolls in the grass, it might be rolling there because that's where another dog was rolling, a stray dog who had skin disease. So it's very contagious, that's the big thing about that one. Demodex is a funny little cigar-shaped mite called the hair follicle mite, and that one doesn't cause the itchiness until secondary infections get going, and it's the secondary infections that start to make them itchy and act kind of the same as the Sarcoptes mites. The mite is found in the same way, so we skin scrape them and we look under the microscope. That one though isn't contagious in the same way. Every puppy that's born will pick up a Demodex or 2 from its mother. So I guess you could say, well, it is contagious, but not in the same fashion. Then those puppies, they grow and they live with the few, and then it gets passed on that way. Only when a puppy has something wrong with its immune system, or there's some other circumstance that goes on with that puppy, and that Demodex will start growing, and they grow and they mate and they lay their eggs and they go through their life cycle, and then you start to have a problem with the skin. So they're two different kinds of mites with two different life cycles and pathways, but you can end up with the skin looking exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay, coming up next, we actually have an update on our rescue horse, Amber, who's from the Horse Sanctuary Fiji, whose story we've been following since episode 1. And we have our local pet TikTok stars. You want to be a TikTok star? You already are a star. What's coming up?
A few weeks ago, we met Amber, a rescue horse that the Horse Sanctuary Fiji have now taken in to provide with professional vet care to help heal her badly wounded leg from severe rope burn. Dr. Ashitosh from Animals Fiji paid the sanctuary a visit to check up on the horses, including Amber. Caution is once again advised as these images may be graphic.
Here, we excise and remove as much of this tissue as we can. Then we see how that works out.
Dr. Ashitosh and the Horse Sanctuary team safely administered the anesthesia and laid Amber down to sleep as he operated on her injured leg.
So what we're gonna do today is, as Amber is already down, I'm gonna palpate along the extremities just to see if there's any fibrosis, along with excision of the proud flesh. So basically, we're gonna excise this whole bit there, this whole mass, so that the margins are uniform. So we want a flat margin, and then it might be a multiple surgery case, but we'll just try with this first one and see how it comes about. There should not be, or there would not be pain, very minimal, maybe a bit of discomfort. That's why the anesthetic usually lasts a lot longer compared to other procedures.
I'm sorry, I can see her.
Okay, so it's quite hard to excise the region because of how long it has been left untreated. It has almost the same consistency as cartilage, nearing to bone. So incision is quite difficult. Okay, so we have attempted to excise the proud flesh. Unfortunately, there's a bony protrusion that we do not have the equipment to remove today. This bit there. So we managed to get quite a bit off, but we will definitely reattempt with a bone saw, so we can get that whole bit the same level as the margin on the skin. Okay. Yeah, and then we see how things work out. We'll continue.
As of this afternoon, Amber is healing at an incredible rate and looks absolutely beautiful.
And that brings us to the end of tonight's episode. But you know I'm not about to leave you without some giggles. So here are some antics of our local pet TikTok stars.
टॉमी यार टॉमी देखो कैसे झलवा झूले या बुजो के झलवा झूले टॉमी यार Tell me your dogs are lazy without telling me your dogs are lazy. We'll go first. Hey, get up. Get up. Get up.
Mommy, tell me, do you like it? I know you like If you have a dog, turn your volume up to see what their reaction will be for the following sounds. Or don't, I can't really tell you what to do.
Say you can give your dog an egg, and they know to be gentle with it.
See, this is not my dog. This is my niece's and nephew's dog. Buddy! Whitney Spears. I think your name is, I don't know which one. Whitney? Buddy? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put it down there. Let's see. You're supposed to be gentle. Ah! Good boy, oh girl, whatever you want. You're so gentle. Okay, he dropped it, but he's very gentle. Okay, bye.
Next on the pet project. Hang on. It's time to change the narrative. That's right, we're swimming with the sharks. Well, maybe not me this time, but the banger adventure divers who are indeed bad to the bone. We learn about Fiji's Shark Reef Marine Reserve and break down some common misconceptions about these majestic sea dwellers. That's coming up next week.